Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader, your guide to a clearer perspective. I have a high vibration message for Aquarius today. This is a message that is channeled from the other side, from my guides and spirit for your benefit as you navigate your journey. And Aquarius, you get the prize for best reading this week. Best cards. I just love this set of cards that have fallen out for you, but don't tell the other signs, okay? Because this is just between you and me. We have the Ace of Wands for the energy that the universe sends you. This is pure divine inspiration, that kind of go ahead that yes, your creative project or what you've been thinking you need to start. It's like your passion is ignited. This could also be talking about the start of a new relationship or a new phase, but it's kind of like it's the big go ahead from the universe that yes, your passion, everything is connected, everything is aligned, go for it. Now, you're responding with the Lord energy, and so you're kind of in harmony with this and also not. We've got the alignment. Do you see how these are parallel? So you're kind of like, yeah, I feel it, I get it, but I'm afraid that the Lord is kind of limiting your perspective. This is the idea of stability and structure and protection. And this is so big and expansive. It's tapped right into the sun energy. And what does the sun do but shed light everywhere? It expands and it glows. But the Lord is kind of limited to a specific scope. You know, it's kind of a smaller picture rather than the big, huge picture of the big, huge implication of you following this spark, following this path. And although it seems to you that you're taking up the baton in a big way, see how big this is, that you've taken up the call, there's still something else. It's less, and this was said to me this morning by someone, it's less linear thinking. It's more expansive global thinking, like, okay, how could this really impact the world? How could this impact my community? How does this work all together? It's bigger thinking rather than like what's exactly in front of you. It's also expanding. It's making sure to look at a more expansive purpose, that you're not just doing it to fulfill something mundane, that you're actually doing it for a bigger reason. Like, I'm following my heart, or I want to develop this part of knowledge for the benefit of others, for the benefit or the advancement of. So it's doing something for an ideal rather than just a set purpose. So that gives you a bigger scope and it makes more connections. You see all these little rays of the sun? There are so many more rays than there are antlers, right? I don't even want to sit there and count, but it shows that there's a bigger potential for interconnectedness the more you pull back and see things from a bigger picture. So let's keep going. We've got the Fool going into the Fairlight, and then on the other side of that, we've got the Seven of Cups. This is saying you have got alchemy and magic working on your side. I love this Fairlight in the middle. We have the rainbow in the background. So this Fool is going to be going on a safe passage, even though he's not quite sure where he's going. So there's, again, a bigger alchemy, a bigger blending happening. And there's almost like when you take up the Fool's little walking stick, when you take up that wand, remember the wand from here, and you decide to just follow wherever it goes, you galvanize and alchemize that special spark of magic from the universe that really opens up a much bigger wealth of experience and wealth of knowledge. It's almost like I can't verbalize what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing because it's so big. And the Seven of Pentacles on the other side is talking about timing, that yes, this is the right timing. This is the time to seize the moment and see where this takes you. And I want to go back to the Fairlight for a second because I know there's something else in there for you. It's that you end up going to a place where you never knew you could go. It's really a journey that's going to open you up and galvanize you in many different directions. When she's mixing this potion together, She's got all the separate ingredients and she knows what they all taste and feel like and smell like and what their properties are. But when she puts them together, some kind of reaction happens and it becomes something more than any of those individual ingredients. So when I was talking about connection here, when you follow this path and you start to envision all these different ways that you could have connections or that you could foster connections, something bigger happens. The project becomes it's like a snowball and it keeps getting bigger as it rolls down the hill. It just becomes something much more than what you thought, but it has to start from that bigger global intention, not just what's right in front of you. So I want to jump to your advice card next. We've got, nope, I'm being told to stay somewhere, so hang on. Where am I staying? You want me to stay with the Fairlight? Okay, what else? What else do you want from there? That this is a deeply healing experience as well, that you don't have to just count on yourself. That this is actually, by following your spark, by following your instinct and passion, this is actually allowing you to connect to others in a more authentic way and in a way that their passion is also sparked. And it's kind of like the two come together and you find yourself no longer standing alone. You find yourself in an interconnected web in a good way, like an interconnected structure that supports you, kind of like a safety net. If you think about a safety net, it looks like webbing, right? And so you have something to fall back into and you find yourself not being alone like you usually feel like. So that's so interesting, but it all has to do with making sure you're taking the stick up in the right way, not feeling limited by just, okay, it has to be this way because this is what's in front of me. It's looking bigger and saying, okay, but it could expand to be this, it could touch other people this way. Now I think we can, now we can jump to the advice, which is the 7 of Wands, which is really hold your ground because you may be getting opposition. And I think this opposition is within yourself. Some of you saying, no, we can't do that. We can't, that's too big. That's just too big. I don't want to go there. Or that's not practical, or that's just not the way we should go. This is not about listening to it. And the other thing is, I'm not sure it's about struggling with it either. Even though he's struggling to maintain his position, I think this is about walking away from that struggle, saying, you know what, if you're not going to think aligned with me on this right now, we're just going to kind of part ways for a second. Whether you're talking to your own thoughts or whether you're talking to conversations with others, just, you know what, I don't really need that kind of energy with me right now. I'm looking for this interconnected energy. I don't need this dividing, critical, naysaying, pull me down kind of energy. I really need to be expanding and growing at this stage. You notice we don't have any pentacles, so we're not necessarily putting plans into action, but we're getting the scope of the plan right now. So this is not about the time to look at the nitty-gritty. This is the expansion of the global and the implications of that global expansion. So questions on that, please let me know. And I always love to hear from you anyway. I'd love to know what you think about Valentine's readings. I don't want to just offer the usual, does he love me or will this relationship last? I'm thinking about offering kind of universal love readings, looking at the way that we block and allow certain types of love. It's just something that we all need to overcome, is our block to the thing that we want, which is love. So if that seems like it would be interesting or not, I'd love to know your thoughts. And I will look forward to seeing you next time either way, and have an awesome week.